Whether you care about your favorite artist doing numbers or not, you can't deny that oftentimes these songs that reach the #1 spot in the Billboard Hot 100 significantly influence culture in the music industry. Today, I chose the 3 hottest #1 songs from every year from 2020 up until now. As far as what matters for the songs to make the list, they either have to be extremely good songs or they have to have had massive cultural impact. The only rules for this is that All I Want for Christmas Is You will not be included. That's because the songs will be included in the year they first charted at #1 in, starting with the infamous year of 2020. As we all know, 2020 was the year of COVID, which led to the quarantine and many of us staying inside on social media. This was a big year for what they call TikTok music. In 2020, TikTok was able to bring some songs to new heights like never before. One of the biggest songs on TikTok in the Billboard Hot 100 in 2020 was the remix of Say So by Doja Cat featuring Nicki Minaj. I feel like 2020 was such a moment in time, and Say So is one of those songs that takes me back to being in that year. It was a step in a new, brighter, poppier direction for Doja Cat. Her music had been pop influenced in the past, but I feel as if Say So brought it to a whole new level. The music video brought glitz and glam, fitting for pop music. Although it wasn't the song that brought Doja Cat to fame, I feel as if Say So brought her to new heights due to how well the song hit with the general public compared to what Doja had released in the past. The song went mega viral. I'm talking inescapable. There was even a viral TikTok dance to go along with this song. Even to this day, the only TikTok dances I know are Say So and the one that goes along to Kesha's Cannibal. It's an infectious pop hit and really showed Doja's versatility as a musical artist. And Nicki Minaj's verse is great on the song too. And regarding Nicki, it was such a cool moment to see her finally get a #1 on the Billboard. After all the work she's put in throughout her career, even if it came late, I'm happy to say it came at all. Say So definitely deserves a spot on this list, but how can I talk about 2020 music and not mention Blinding Lights? It's one of the most streamed songs ever, and hit the #1 for the first time in April of 2020. I feel like when the song came out, it was the first time I was interested in delving into an entire Weeknd project. Blinding Lights was a great song. He brought a retro sound reminiscent of Michael Jackson and the 80s in general, but in a way that felt new and inspired, and the song's aged pretty good today. The song was praised by music critics and made The Weeknd be taken more seriously as an artist. Billboard named it the second best song of 2020, and Consequence of Sound put it at the top spot. To speak on the song's success, it charted in over 40 countries, becoming his most successful single ever, and won several awards including 3 Billboard Music Awards and 3 iHeartRadio Music Awards, including Song of the Year. Although unserious and extremely silly, I don't think WAP is a bad song. It's probably Cardi's best song with Bodak Yellow, and Megan serves on the track too. It's overly sexual, but WAP is like silly sexy. It was graphic, but also included humor that made the song camp, rather than borderline uncomfortable to listen to like some of the early Weeknd songs, such as Or Nah. The video was a great visual, colorful, and pleasing to the eye. It grabs you in, but besides the sonic performance and the visual aspects, this song made waves. Everyone was either bopping to WAP, having a silly old time, or people were taking it way too seriously. You know who I'm referring to.
I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet ass P-word. Make that pull-out game weak.
Yes, the infamous wet ass P-word lyric reciting by Ben Shapiro. I could go on about the criticism of WAP from people with more traditional views around sexuality, but I just think Ben admitting that he does not give his wife a wet ass P-word is pretty hilarious. He thought he was eating as he went into what he thinks Cardi and Megan's medical diagnoses are. Besides that, it was also an iconic TikTok dance and made waves on the app with its viral dance and shockingly funny lines. And the song got pretty good reviews throughout the industry critics. Larkin Starling of Pitchfork said the song was, quote, a nasty-ass rap bop bursting with the personality of 2 of rap's most congenial household names, quote. In addition, the Billboard critic Trevor Anderson gave the song kudos, saying it, quote, transformed from just a promotional clip into a pop culture phenomenon, end quote. Off the bat, the song was a smash, debuting at the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100, leaving no room for it to climb. And the music video broke the record for most views within 24 hours for a collaboration between 2 women with 26.5 million views. Then the song's sweep at the BET Awards, winning Song of the Year, Best Hip Hop Video, and Best Collaboration, seals the fact that the song was monumental for 2020. 2 honorable mentions for this year were The Box by Roddy Richh and Willow by Taylor Swift. The Box was a mega hit that became inescapable at the time, also propelled by TikTok. And Willow was a unique song for Taylor that did extremely well. I just think that the song Willow isn't as influential on the culture compared to some of the other Taylor Swift songs on this list, or Say So, WAP, and Blinding Lights. But actually, Willow is probably my favorite number one song of the year, personally. But I wouldn't say it's the hottest, most iconic. Not gonna lie, 2021 was kind of a bland year when it came to number ones, but we did get a few good ones. The first one is by Lil Nas X, and it's Montero, Call Me By Your Name. This tweet from a user called Mr. Shelby sums up my thoughts on Montero, Call Me By Your Name pretty much to a T. He says, reflecting on its release 4 years ago, the song remains a landmark in discussion about representation and freedom of expression in the music industry. Couldn't have said it better myself. Montero, Call Me By Your Name really shook the culture. You had a lot of people feeling seen through the message of the song surrounding growing up as LGBT while being religious, as well as through the music video's symbolism and imagery. Most notably, Lil Nas X Dancing on the Devil, which really pissed off some religious groups. So badly that when I went to attend the Long Live Montero tour, there were literally protesters on the street boycotting the show. I really question the logic of Montero Call Me By Your Name criticism much more than the J. Christ criticism, which I also disagree with. But I mean, the message was so in your face, and if you are upset, I truly believe you lack any kind of introspection or even media literacy. He literally kills the devil at the end of the dance. Everyone who finds this song and music video to be wrong seems to forget that part. It's obviously about people telling him he's going to hell for being gay and a reference to growing up around religion. Don't forget, Lil Nas X grew up in a very religious family. Montero Call Me By Your Name gave visuals, Montero Call Me By Your Name gave heart, Montero Call Me By Your Name gave a massively successful, extremely well done pop hit that has aged great. The next song I'm going to talk about skyrocketed this artist into superstardom. It's Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License. Before Driver's License, Olivia's biggest hit was All I Want from High School Musical, the musical, the series. That's a mouthful. But All I Want was no match for the juggernaut that was Driver's License. Even though it was only the first single from Rodrigo's debut album Sour, it launched her career at full force. People lived for Driver's License. In the first 3 days, it sold over 16,000 digital downloads and was streamed a whopping 21 million times. It was Olivia's second entry on the chart, but first song to reach that coveted number one spot. Driver's License didn't just launch Olivia into stardom, but I'd argue it actually helped Sabrina Carpenter's career in the long run as well, considering how it brought her into the limelight with the whole drama around them and Joshua Bassett. People on the internet were intrigued by that tea like flies on shit. This was the first time a lot of the general public and regular internet users who aren't Sabrina stans had heard of her in a long time. I mean, any publicity is good publicity. Driver's License really infected the culture and was played all over the place. In addition, Olivia performed this song what feels like hundreds of times during any performance opportunity. It may not be my favorite Olivia song, but I can acknowledge Driver's License's widespread appeal and musical quality. I mean, it really set Olivia Rodrigo up for a long, successful career. She's still mega successful today, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. The next song is a banger that anybody can enjoy. It's Stay by the Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber. With Stay, the Kid Laroi brought up himself and Justin Bieber, meaning this was Justin's first number one hit since Despacito with Luis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee in 2017. You may also not know that Charlie Puth had production and songwriting credits on the song as well. I said Driver's License had widespread appeal. Well, I'd argue Stay was even more of a phenomenon. Everyone was able to find enjoyment out of this song, from frat guys to Facebook moms. Stay is an easily digestible synth pop record with one of the biggest pop stars in the world featuring on it. How could it not be widely adored? The Kid Laroi really secured himself a spot as a top musical artist with this impressive hit that stayed at the number one spot for 7 weeks. And with over 2 billion streams on Spotify, it's one of the most streamed songs ever. The song was able to secure 5 Billboard Music Awards, including Best Top Hot 100 Song, Top Streaming Song, Top Collaboration, Top Billboard Global 200 Song, and Top Billboard Global Song excluding the USA. It was a global hit. Stay is well written, hard-hitting, fun, and infectious. Bieber and Laroi's voices were like peanut butter and jelly, pairing perfectly together. It seems as if Stay will stay a staple in Justin Bieber and the Kid Laroi's discography for years to come. Now, we're kind of easing out of the pandemic as we enter to 2022. Things are a little wishy-washy, but people are still getting outside a little bit more. And my first pick may surprise you, as it isn't a conventional number one hit. It's We Don't Talk About Bruno by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Encanto cast and all these other people, which I'll list on the screen. You can't deny this song was everywhere. It's a Disney song, and while a lot of the older ones become staples, but as of recent, you don't really see most songs from newer Disney movies as embedded in the culture and as popular as We Don't Talk About Bruno. I mean, it was on pop radio. When do you really ever hear Disney songs on pop radio? It was some of Lin-Manuel's best work for sure. The song was also sung at award shows, goes. We Don't Talk About Bruno first charted at number 54 and was managed to climb all the way to the top spot. That was probably due to the fact that the marketing for this movie and song were insane. We Don't Talk About Bruno really just plunged into the culture as if it was a Taylor Swift record. And as far as the movie goes, it's probably what I'd consider Disney's best movie since Wreck-It Ralph, which was released back in 2012. Part of my like for Wreck-It Ralph probably is due to my affinity for Owl City and their song that's featured in the movie When Can I See You Again? That's a real banger. That should be the number one every week. Anyways, back to We Don't Talk About Bruno. The song stayed on the YouTube trending page from December 28th until January 7th. It may seem like a short time, but the YouTube trending page moves fast, so to stay on it longer than a week is a huge accomplishment in my eyes. We Don't Talk About Bruno is a dynamic song that tells a story. It's fun and a great track in terms of Disney songs. It did what many other Disney songs couldn't do. By the way, does anyone remember that Wish movie where they tried to replicate Lin-Manuel's style with something else? Yeah, that was interesting. I never saw the movie, but I saw clips, and that was pretty something. It was really something. Anyhow, the next song I want to talk about is a little controversial. We're going to talk about Unholy by Sam Smith and Kim Petras. This is a case where personally, I don't love the song. Honestly, I don't even like Unholy, not due to any religious reasons or anything. I just think the song's a little corny, but you can't deny its place in 2022. Due to its success, 10 versions in addition to the original were remixed. It was Kim Petras' first entry on the chart and completely rebranded Sam Smith as an edgier, raunchier pop star. Sam faced a lot of criticism during this rebrand, especially from conservatives and religious communities, due to how outward he was being about his sexuality, the change in his style, and the quote-unquote satanic imagery in their Grammy performance. But despite criticism, the song was still met with impressive commercial performance, reaching the number 1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 4 weeks after its release. Unholy seemed to be a song that really liberated Sam Smith and allowed him to be his true self as an artist. Even though it didn't really land for me sonically or lyrically or conceptually, I can't say that Unholy wasn't an experimental risk for Sam that paid off with a number 1 hit. And as far as Kim Petras goes, this song got her a Grammy and made history by shattering the glass ceiling through making Kim Petras the first trans woman to ever win a Grammy. It became a song to make history for that reason alone, and no other song this year did that kind of thing, so I think Unholy really deserves the spot. That was a monumental moment. Next, we're going to talk about Beyonce. We're going to talk about Break My Soul. For this pick, I was between Lizzo's About Damn Time and Break My Soul by Beyonce. I will say, I'm sorry to the Beehive, I was between them. But while Lizzo provided a good quality disco-esque hit, About Damn Time, I don't go back and listen to it ever. Also, with Break My Soul, Beyonce began the Renaissance era, one of my favorite albums ever. Probably my favorite Beyonce record for sure. But About Damn Time was off Lizzo's album Special, which was a dip in quality and a commercial flop compared to her first album, Cause I Love You, which I enjoyed a lot. Break My Soul was a very uplifting song that I feel was needed at the time as we slowly made our way out of the pandemic. Frankly, so is About Damn Time, but due to the quality of Renaissance, I have to give it to Break My Soul. Everyone was dancing to this song and Renaissance as a whole. When Break My Soul hit the number 1 spot, it felt like a party whenever it came through the radio. It was obviously hopecore, but in a way that actually pumped you up rather than leaving you rolling your eyes at the toxic positivity. Matthew Strauss of Pitchfork described the song as, quote, a dance song that is intended to mark the start of a new era with new anthems, end quote, which is so true. It was the anthem during the time, and will stay relevant for its purpose to uplift for years to come. To support that, Rolling Stone placed it at number 108 on their 200 greatest dance songs of all time list. And to add the icing on the cake, Break My Soul won the Grammy for Best Dance/Electronic Record. Break My Soul was met with commercial and critical acclaim, and I can definitely understand why. The song serves its purpose flawlessly. For 2022, an honorable mention is Super Freaky Girl by Nicki Minaj. The song was everywhere, but I don't think the cultural impact was as big, but it did land Nicki Minaj her first solo number 1 after her number 1 feature on Doja Cat's Say So in 2020, but this was her solo number 1. But again, it may have came late, but it was really cool to see it happen. Moving into 2023, I feel like all these songs are kind of dark and angsty, but the first one we're going to talk about is Paint the Town Red by Doja Cat. Paint the Town Red is interesting to me because of the way it fixed Doja's career. Doja Cat had gone on a Twitter rant that many people found disrespectful towards her fans. The rant included the following post. Doja said, quote, my fans don't name themselves shit. If you call yourself a kitten or fucking kittens, that means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house, end quote. Therefore, somewhat understandably, people were upset at Doja Cat as a result of the way she was acting on Twitter. But when they heard how much of a bop this song was, that criticism turned into crickets fast. It was all stan Doja again. The majority of people who seemed like they were upset before really just appeared to be over it by now. It also went viral on TikTok like no tomorrow, not really being exclusive to a specific niche or trend, but rather widespread on the app amongst different communities and types of videos. The song wasn't only a standout moment in Doja's career, repairing a hard time, but it broke Spotify records. First off, the song made history as it became the first solo female rap song to top the US Top 50 daily chart and the Global 200 Spotify daily chart. That's pretty impressive. The performances for the song were also super memorable, including her office siren performance at the VMAs. Paint the Town Red was a huge hit for Doja, and its success can't be denied. And the fact that it's her second song on this list shows that she really knows how to make a hit. You couldn't expect me to talk about 2023 and not mention Taylor Swift. 2023 was a huge year for Taylor Swift. The Eras Tour was going on, she put out her album Midnights, all of this even resulting in Taylor being named Times' 2023 Person of the Year, as she should be. The poetry and the songwriting on Antihero is too exceptional for me not to put it on this list. I believe it's one of Taylor's best written songs. She touches on fears, insecurities, and criticizes herself quite heavily. The raw vulnerability Antihero has wasn't really matched by any other #1 song this year. It was clearly a huge highlight off her album Midnights. Olivia Horn of Pitchfork even compared the writing to the type of lyricism you'd hear on albums like Folklore and Evermore, and she adds that it has the neurotic image analysis of Reputation. The song may have not taken home a Grammy, but it almost swept at the VMAs, just coming up shy with the loss of the Best Editing Award, but it still took home the other 6 awards it was nominated for at the VMAs. The song was a smash with over 17 million Spotify plays within the first 24 hours after being released. Antihero was Taylor Swift's second #1 on both the Billboard Global 200 and Global chart excluding the USA, as it simultaneously debuted on the top of the Billboard Hot 100. During this time, Taylor occupied all 10 spots topping the Hot 100. With that, she was able to beat Madonna's record for having the most top 10 entries on the Hot 100, surpassing Madonna's record of 38 debuts in the top spot by 2 with 40 songs. As I said, 2023 was the year of Taylor, but to wrap Antihero up in a bow, it's such a great, vulnerable masterclass in songwriting. So, due to the musical quality, it has to go on this list. Let's move on to the next song. This is SZA's Kill Bill. SZA has had hits in the past, but Kill Bill made her a superstar. The song had shocking lyrics that surprisingly went over so well with the general public, as it became SZA's first #1 on the Billboard Global 200 and US Hot 100. On the US Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart, it broke Old Town Road's record for the longest #1 on the chart, specifically by staying at #1 for 21 long weeks. Billboard even named it the top R&B song of the year at the Billboard Music Awards. SZA served CUNT in the Kill Bill movie-inspired mega viral music video. It continued to prove SZA's ability to deliver a visual. Multiple remixes were made, including one featuring Doja Cat, who has been a major heavyweight when it comes to #1s on the Hot 100. Numbers-wise, Kill Bill was the 3rd best-selling song of 2023, and Spotify's 2nd most streamed song of the year as well. Kill Bill went 8 times platinum in the US by selling 8 million units. The critics adored the song as well. It was praised for the quality of the songwriting and the enticing groovy instrumental. It was a unique song, something interesting to listen to. The Sydney Morning Herald referred to the song as refreshing and intoxicating, and I couldn't agree more. Kill Bill was beloved, and it shows SZA's ability to make a unique and dynamic hit that has staying power on the charts. Surprisingly, in what seemed like the year of pop girls, 2 out of 3 of my 3 most monumental #1 songs in the Hot 100 were by male artists, including the first song, which was a TKO on Drake. It's Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Oh my gosh, the Drake and Kendrick beef sure made noise in 2024. All of these diss tracks were coming out like crazy, but Not Like Us was the victory lap that became a humongous hit. I believe the success of the song in particular is what took Kendrick Lamar all the way to the Super Bowl, where he laid the final nail in Drake's coffin. The song was praised for its quick quips, and Kendrick Lamar's impeccable flow. Kendrick Lamar and the song's primary producer, DJ Mustard, made magic on this song that really hit with the people, as the A minor line echoed throughout the world. GQ's Fraser Tharp praised Mustard's, quote, party-shaking homegrown energy, quote. Many journalists even consider Not Like Us the toughest diss track they've witnessed in their life. Carl Lamar of Billboard spoke on the song saying, quote, I'm old enough to have experienced Jay-Z versus Nas and 50 Cent versus Ja Rule in real time. But this particular feud has the advantage over those because of the advent of social media. Watching these records fall from the sky and instantly seeing real-time reactions amplified the pressure and momentum of this battle. Fans were huddling around the social media bonfire, clamoring for more, exchanging thoughts and conspiracies in such a short time, and it all climaxed with the ecstatic response to Kendrick's death blow. Even in past beefs Drake had been in with Meek and Pusha, neither opponent was as big as Kung Fu Kenny, and certainly neither had a record as big as Not Like Us, end quote. Not Like Us was able to sweep all of its categories at the Grammy Awards, and I believe its success had a lot to do with Kendrick's latest album, GNX, despite not being on the track list. Will Drake ever come back from the song? A common trend among this list are songs that launched already established artists into superstardom, and the next song again did just that. It's Please 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 by Sabrina Carpenter. Now, Espresso got a lot of attention, but proving she could do it again with Please 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 really made Sabrina Carpenter a household name, and an artist to start taking more seriously. In Please Please Please, we got a taste of some of her personality and wittiness. The song felt very authentic and real, while it also had a theme I'm sure anyone can relate to about not wanting your significant other to embarrass you. About the song, Sabrina told The Hollywood Reporter, quote, Then it just made me so excited for the rest of the project because it feels really aligned with all the music I grew up listening to that I love, but also very myself. She continued with, and that song was obviously based on real life events. On top of all that, Sabrina Carpenter's real boyfriend at the time, Saltburn actor Barry Keoghan, starred in the music video, making for an even more viral moment with the song. The song debuted at number 2 on the Hot 100, so it only had one place to climb to reach number 1. And when Espresso was at number 2 on the UK singles chart, Please 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 was able to snatch the number 1 spot, making Sabrina the first female artist to hold both those positions on that chart for 5 weeks. She matched Ed Sheeran with the record. On Please Please Please, Sabrina Carpenter and Jack Antonoff made nothing less than an earworm. The song got stuck in everyone's head. The melody of the song really got ingrained in my brain during its peak popularity. Please 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 showed that Sabrina could make hit after hit. The next song is a country pop song that dominated on radio and the charts. Let's touch on a bar song, Tipsy by Shaboozey. If you didn't listen to Cowboy Carter and hear his feature on that album, it's likely you didn't even know who Shaboozey was at the time, and suddenly his song was being played everywhere. It was one of the longest number 1 songs of all time on the Hot 100, with 19 weeks at the number 1 spot. Shaboozey actually ended up tying Lil Nas X for his record. The song interpolates Jaquan's song Tipsy from 2004 in a way that felt pretty fresh. His use of the song was praised by critics. Chris Malamphy of Slate reviewed the song by saying it, quote, fuses the kid-friendly counting lyrics from Jaquan's original rap hit with more adult concerns that reflect our current national malaise. It was actually a pretty cool moment in history when a bar song Tipsy charted at number 1 on Billboard's Hot Country Songs chart, dethroning Beyonce from her number 1 with Texas Hold'em, since it was the first time 2 black artists were at the first and second spots on the chart. The song did crazy numbers, and people went insane for it. I mean, I think I've talked about this before, but when I went to the Shinedown Doja Cat, Jason Derulo, and Shaboozey concert, yeah, all of those together, anyhow, at the show, those people screamed and screamed for Shaboozey and this song, so it was definitely beloved by many people. Stop typing your comment right now, I know what you're about to say. Someone is getting ready to comment that this song should have not made the list, but instead Ariana Grande's We Can't Be Friends. But compared to Tipsy, We Can't Be Friends definitely wasn't as big of a hit when we're talking about numbers in the general public. But don't get me wrong, We Can't Be Friends is probably my favorite number 1 of 2024 personally, so I have to give it an honorable mention for musical quality. Don't forget, it is like number 4 on my top 2024 songs video. If you want to go watch that, go watch it. And moving into 2025, since we're only in April, I'm only picking one song from 2025. The song I'd say is the most influential and best song on the chart is Luther by Kendrick Lamar featuring SZA, which was released in 2024 but began charting in 2025. Like how I believe Not Like Us launched the Super Bowl, I think the Super Bowl launched Luther, as the hit it's become. After the Super Bowl, the song rose all the way to the #1 spot on the Hot 100. As many critics pointed out, SZA and Kendrick Lamar have impeccable vocal chemistry on the track. It's a different sound for Kendrick, with Tomas Muir of Rolling Stone noting that during Luther, Kendrick was, quote, stretching his singing chops, end quote. Now, it's only the 4th month into 2025, and Die With A Smile has taken up so many weeks at #1, so this song really has a long way to go. Yes, it's massive, but it's newly massive. I look forward to seeing if this song continues to flourish and stay high on the charts. So those are what I consider the 3 most monumental #1s from each year going from 2020 all the way to now. Did you agree with my picks? What songs would you take out of the list and what would you replace them with? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you like music commentary and hearing about the latest music news, make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss an upload. And while you're at it, if you feel enticed to, please click the like button. I appreciate that so much. Anyhow, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
If you can't be right here